All right, in 11.4, we're going to take a look at circumference and arc length. You should already be familiar with circumference of a circle. And you can see in your notes, you have two equations. You can either say that circumference is equal to pi times diameter or 2 times pi times radius. I will oftentimes choose to use the pi times diameter, even if I don't know the radius, because I know that my diameter is simply equal to double my radius, 2 times r. So I can double my radius and know my diameter, and then I can use that. So as we look at example 1 here, find the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 5 inches. So circumference is pi times diameter. I like to put the number first. So 5 times pi. You can actually express your answer that way. That would be an exact answer in terms of pi. Now, a lot of times we might change it to a decimal form. If you do that, use the pi button on your calculator, not 3.14, not 22/7. Use the pi button on your calculator. It is more accurate. So we get about 15 point, we'll go to the nearest tenth, so 15.7 inches. They mean the same thing. I would accept either one of those answers. Now the second question says find the diameter of a circle with a circumference of 17 feet. So this time I know the circumference is 17. That's equal to pi times diameter. I'm trying to solve for diameter, so all I have to do is divide by the pi, and I'll get diameter by itself. So I'll have to do 17 divided by pi. Once again, use the pi button on your calculator. We get about 5.4, and that was talking about feet. Second question, diameter, 28 inches. So I'm going to find the circumference of that tire. Pi times diameter, 28 pi. In this case, it's going to be really helpful to have the decimal, so I won't even leave it in this form. I'm just going to go ahead and find the decimal right away. So it's about 87, actually 88.0 if I round to the nearest tenth. And we're talking inches. Is how many revolutions does the tire make while traveling 500 feet? So you would take the 500 feet. We might want to first convert that to inches. So if we take 500 times 12, now we see that that's 6,000 inches. So we're going to go to 6,000 inches. Each rotation of the tire has a circumference of 88 inches. So I'm going to take 6,000, divide it by 88. And so I see about 68.2 revolutions. Next, we take a look at arc length, how long the arc is. We've talked about the measure of an arc. Now we're talking about the actual distance. And so we've got a sentence here, the ratio of the length of a given arc. So length of arc AB, the ratio of that to its circumference, I'm going to use C for circumference, says is equal to the ratio of the measure of the arc. So we put a little m in front of the arc. That means like how many degrees it is over the full circle, which is 360 degrees. So we can use this and cross multiply. So in example A here, we're trying to find the length of arc AB. You'd like to call that x, you may. Sorry, that was pretty messy. Try that again. Oh, I don't know why. Doesn't want to write very well. Okay, that's better. So x over the circumference. We do know the circumference. We know the radius is 9. So we'd have to double that. That's 18. So 18 pi. I'm going to leave it in terms of pi for now. I'm not going to give the decimal right now. Equal to, and it's the measure of the arc. So I see that the central angle is 45 degrees, so the arc is 45 degrees as well. Over the full circle, over 360. I'm going to simplify 45 over 360. That goes to 1 over 8. Cross multiply. 8x rather is equal to 18 pi. divided by 8. And then I'll just plug this in the calculator right now. I'll hit 18 pi divided by 8, and it gives me about 7.1. 7.1, we're talking about inches. Number 2, the length of the arc, I don't know. Circumference of the circle, well, the radius is 15, so the diameter is 30, so it's 30 pi. Degrees of the arc is 45 over the full circle, which is 360. Once again, that simplifies to 1/8. Cross multiply, 8x is equal to 30 pi divided by 8. So 30 pi divided by 8 is about 11.1. I'm sorry, 11.8. My bad. 11.8 inches. Example C. The length of the arc, x, over the circumference of the whole circle. Well, radius is 15, so the diameter is 30, so 30 pi is the circumference. Degrees of the arc, 90 over degrees of the full circle, which is 360. That fraction simplifies to 1/4. Cross multiply, 4x is equal to 30 pi divided by 4. 30 pi divided by 4 is about 23.6. Still dealing with inches. The next example, we know the arc length, 6.82. What I don't know is the circumference, and that's what they're asking us to find. I know the degrees of the arc, 75 over the full circle, 360. I can simplify 75 over 360, goes to 5 over 24. Cross multiply. 5c equals, take the 6.82 times the 24, you get 163.68. Divide by 5, and we get, we'll go ahead and round this, we'll go to the nearest tenth, 32.7. Oops. We're dealing with centimeters. And B, we're looking for the number of degrees. We know the length of the arc is 40 feet. Circumference, well, we'd have to double the radius, so it's 30.56 pi. Equals the degrees. We don't know the measure, that's what we're trying to find. Over the full circle, 360. We're going to cross multiply. So this is going to get a little messy. 30, I'm going to, well, if we want, maybe it's helpful to actually have a decimal here for this 30.56. So let's plug that in the calculator. 30.56 pi is what we have for a circumference. So that's about 96.0. Okay, so let's use that. That's a little bit nicer. 96.0 times the measure of arc AB is equal to 40 times 360. 40 times 360 is 14,400. We're going to divide by the 96. So the measure of arc AB is equal to the 14,400 divided by 96.0, gives us about 150 degrees.